I'm going to show you how to make a server message script in Roblox. When a player joins the game, you'll see a server message in the chat. Player 1 has joined, player 2 joined the game. That's what we're going to be making today, guys. Stick around. Alright, guys, so what we need to do to accomplish this, let's start off by adding some remote events. And I'm just going to delete everything so we can start over. Alright, so let's add some remote events to replicated storage. Add 2 remote events and name the first one adding. It's fine. And second one you can name removing. These are going to come in handy a bit later. So yeah, make sure, that's step 1. Make sure you have 2 remote events in replicated storage. One of them named adding and the second one named removing. Okay, so once we got that step down, we can dive into the scripting part. And let's do it. So into server script service. Alright, let's go. Start. So what we will do, we are going to declare the remote events from the replicated storage. We're going to make some variables. Local adding equals game get service replicated storage, and we'll say colon wait for child adding, and then I'll just copy this line and I'll paste it and I'll just name it removing, and I will call it and I'll removing. So make sure these variables are just like this. I would just do everything I'm doing right now so you don't get lost or you don't have any errors. You can name your remotes whatever you want, but you have to change the name of it in the script. Like right here, adding is the same as the name right here. So that's what you got to do. Same name is right here. So just make sure you got these 2 lines. So we got 2 variables for the events. So now we're gonna make a player added event. So when the player joins the game, the following code will run. And I just put PLR. It's an abbreviation for player. You can put that too if you should put that too, because we're gonna need that right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna say adding colon fire server, or what's not fire server. We're already in the server script. Or we're gonna say fire all clients, and put the player PLR. So we're gonna put the player argument into the fire all clients parameter here. So that will fire the local script that we're gonna use to make the message. And just copy this and paste it below, a couple lines below. Change the player added right here. I'll change the player added from right here to player removing. So this is basically when the player leaves the game. And this is what your code should look like. So pause the video if you have to and make sure everything is looking like this. And you got 2 remote events in replicated storage named adding and removing. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, oops, I forgot one thing, guys. I forgot to change this. That would have caused an error. So make sure you got adding and removing. So yeah, so this one is removing and this one is adding. So removing, fire all clients will fire all the local scripts that are hooked up to the remote events that we're using. So that's all that fire all clients does. Alright, so now let's make the message. So we're going to go into the folder here in the Explorer, Starter Player. Click on that, on the arrow, and click on Starter Player Scripts. We're going to click on the plus and insert a local script. Alright. Now, this is where we create the message. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the server script. We're going to copy those 2 variables. Paste them. Alright, so now adding dot on server event connect function, or on client event. I don't know what I'm thinking right now. My mind is somewhere else. Client event, because we're in a client script right now. That's a good tip for you guys. Make sure you name these right. On client event, we're in the client script right now. This is the script that is for the player. So on client. Okay, so yeah. All right, so let's make the message now. So now we got, when the player joins the game, it's gonna fire the remote event adding, and then it'll fire this local script inside of the player, and then we can write all the code we want inside of here. So game.startedUI, and then we're gonna do :set core, and set core is basically if I can think of a way to describe it, it's basically a bunch of things in Roblox, and you can access it. I don't know, that's a horrible description, but you can look it up. Just set core if you really want to know, but I just know this is the way to do it. So set core, then we're gonna say chat make system message. So this is built in. This is a built-in string right here into set core. So make sure you have it exactly spelled like this, exactly like this, or else it won't work. Yeah, it has to be exactly like this. Chat make system message. Alright, so, and then we're going to leave a comma and a curly brace right there. And I'm going to drop a line. I'm going to drop a line. Oops. There we go. So, I got a curly bracket right here. Next, and right here too. Alright, so now we're gonna make like the text for the message. Text equals, this is where you guys can be creative. You can put any text you feel like. And I'm gonna do server because that's kind of cool. I like that. So server message, I'm gonna leave a space, and I'm gonna do ... I'm gonna add the player's name. So PLR. You know what? Hold on. Let's make one more variable. Local player equals game.players.localPlayer. Alright, so do that at the top of the script. Now we're going to say player dot name dot has joined the game. Alright, so that's how we're going to know they joined. Now we're going to do color. Oops, actually, and add a comma right here too. We're going to make the color now. Color equals color3 dot from RGB, and this is where you can make the color of it. So I'm going to do red. Pretty standard color. You can do whatever you want. Comma. And make sure this is all spelled correctly. Just make sure you got all of this correctly. You can make whatever message you want. That's not gonna matter. But just make sure all the syntax for the text color, it's all spelled correctly. Make sure yeah. So the text can be up to you, but everything else, just make sure it's spelled correctly. Uppercase and lowercase needs to be correct. Proper punctuation. So now we're gonna do font size. We can change the size of it. Equals enum.font size dot size. Let's do the largest size that there is, I believe, which is 96. Hold on. Pretty sure it's 96. Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna make so I can see my message like clear and big. Now I can change the font. Font equals enum dot font dot. Now you can choose the font you want. This is totally up to you guys. You can do any, and you can change the color if you want to anything you want. It's optional. You can change the size to anything you want, and you can change the font to whatever you like. So a lot of options here. I'm gonna do Arial bold, just to make it stand out, I guess, a little more. That's it. So that should work when the player enters the game. We're gonna add the removing event, like removing bit of it, in a second. Let's just see if this works. It does! If you look on the screen, it says it does work. Right there. Gutpack has joined the game, and that is my username. So it does work. But let's make the remote for removing, and we'll be officially done. So copy this, paste it down below. And name it removing. And we can just say has left the game right there. So that's good. I think that's it. Just make sure you correctly name these, like adding and removing. Has left the game. Okay. And you can change the color of it if you want when they leave the game. You can change it to whatever. I'll do you can click on this.